Hi everybody, this is Black Rhino Ranger here to do yet another countdown towards my birthday, which I did last year, as another countdown towards this year's my birthday. If that makes any sense. Now into the year 2000, it was the first time I was aware of time. It was when I understood what date is which month is it, and what time it is. It's I know this is a bit controversial, but I based this on that tragic event that happened on September 11th, 2001. Note it says here September, and it says here 2111, which means 9:11 p.m. So sorry about that, but since it was in 2000 and it was my awareness of time, I thought it'd be a little bit of a. I deeply apologize if this made you really uncomfortable, and I understand why. I mean. But still, it can't be as uncomfortable as how Gilbert Gottfried told his 9/11 jokes. By the way, in case you're wondering, it's just some construction workers trying to demolish the other house. So bear with me on that. Sorry about the noise. So what happened? What was my most favorite cartoon of 2000? Why, it is none other than The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. It's dark, it's gross, it's funny, it's over the top, it's off the wall, it's random, and it has pretty much everything I wanted in a cartoon. And in my humble, honest-to-God opinion, it is my second most favorite Cartoon Network show of all time. Even though it was originally part of a show called Grim and Evil, I didn't care too much about the Evil Concarne segment. I was debating if I should have this as a 2003 show or 2001, but since the episodes it showed came out in 2001, it counts as a 2001 show. The honorable mentions that year are Fairly Odd Parents, The House of Mouse, Justice League, and Walking with Beasts, if we're counting live-action animation. And next up, and what is my most favorite animated film that year? It's Monsters, Inc. In fact, Monsters, Inc., the franchise as a whole, is my most favorite of the Pixar franchises. Monsters, Inc. has scary monsters. It has a lot of variety. It has a lot of unique ways of entering the human world and stuff. Great performances of John Goodman, Billy Crystal, Steve Buscemi, and the voice of Water News. They're all pretty spot on, and gotta love how they're all afraid of this little girl. Honorable mentions are Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Osmosis Jones, if we're counting live-action animation, Recess, School's Out, and Shrek. Now, what is my most favorite game of 2001? This is an odd choice, but I'm gonna go with SSX Tricky. It was a game that my cousins introduced me to, and when I set foot in England, and I was kind of addicted. And when I started playing that game, I was addicted to it, and I couldn't stop playing it. It's about snowboarding and stuff, and you could do a lot of tricks with it. And it was the first time I was introduced to the song Tricky by DMC. You know, the EXT to raptor, time it's tricky. Anyways, honorable mentions includes Monsters, Inc. Scream Team, Halo Combat Evolved, Capcom vs. SNK2, and Zoo Tycoon, the original, Zoo Tycoon 1. So anyways, what's happening? Sorry about the noise. What's happening in 2000? What's happening in the animation? Billy does his usual thing at the nose picking, and he brings out a letter. And Black Rhino Ranger doesn't like it that's got it out. And then I got this. This one's from a very dedicated friend of mine, Rover the Hedgehog, and he asked me why don't you draw cartoons or movies that you like or ever get into them when they first come out or look at them? Like how it took you 2 years to get into enjoy Star vs. the Forces of Evil and The La House, and when you saw Zootopia and Bad Guys. You didn't really do any art with them. When Wanderer of a Yonder first appeared, you didn't do any art with it, or were you? It is true that I am quite late on getting into some shows because there were a lot of things that were going on with me. As of now, I still have not watched Wander Over Yonder. Sorry about that. And the sad thing is my Disney Plus, Malaysia's Disney Plus, does not have Wander Over Yonder. I'm unable to see the Wander Over Yonder show. Actually, it does have Wander Over Yonder, but it only has Season 1 Wander Over Yonder. The Season 2 one, the one with the Lord Dominator, is unavailable, sadly. Now, why did it take me 2 years to get in? Again, I've explained why it took me 2 years to get, because at the time I was so busy with other things. I was just busy with playing what is the next latest Skylanders game and what is the other latest game, like Lego Jurassic World 2, or I was into other things like the movies. I never really had time to watch a lot of TV shows at the time. Spending time with family, trying to be on a scavenger hunt for Skylanders and stuff. And also, keep in mind, I'm living in Malaysia, so the release dates are a bit unpredictable. For example, I didn't see Madagascar 3 because it premiered in the UK. Its premiere in the UK was in October of 2012, and we came back to Malaysia in August, and by then, Madagascar had already had its release. Madagascar 3, and they stopped showing in theaters by then. So I had to wait until I get it on DVD. And like I said, it did take me a year or two to get into some. Usually it takes me a year or two to get into some shows. Like it took me a year to get into My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, 2 years to get into BoJack Horseman, 2 years to get into Star Butter vs. the Forces of Evil, and 2 years to get into The La House. Do you know how long it took me to get into Total Drama? 17 years after its original date. It first came out in 2007, but I didn't get into it until last year. When it was airing its 2000s, when it was airing season 6 or the reboot season. For now, there hasn't been any confirmation of any renewal for the next season. The head writer, Terry, who is also the voice of Chris McClain, he said the show isn't canceled, but it hasn't been renewed yet. So we don't know about it. And I drew this picture of a bird who's all super tired, and he's catching a worm that's like Iron Man. So it's basically saying I am no early bird who catches the iron while the iron worm is hot. Sometimes it's a good thing. Like when I was getting into He-Man and She-Ra, the '80s show, I was like, I thought about taking a look at them first before I revisit their reboots, like the 2002 show, which I did remember see as a kid, and the 2018 She-Ra, which is a very divisive show. You either like it, really, really love it for its representation of the LGBTQIA plus community, or you absolutely hate it because it's not like the original She-Ra show. And I remember at the time, fans were at war with each other, to a point where even the voice actress for the original She-Ra had to call out on both sides of the fandom and for engaging in this war. I'm personally on the more of the 80s side, but I'll do the 2018, any 2018 fan arts if I feel like it. Whenever I posted any She-Ra fan arts, I was extremely nervous that I may get some backlash. I mean, some people, when they tried to draw the original She-Ra, they got backlash from the 2018 fans. The 80s She-Ra, the 2018 fans. Like, I remember somebody tried drawing Mer Mister in her old form, but got backlash from folks saying, why not draw the little ones? Are you whitewashing or something like that? Or something like that? It's all confusing. And I'll admit, when I draw the She-Ra, when I'm drawing She-Ra, I feel a bit nervous on either side. Either the 80s ones will hate me, or the 2018 ones will hate me for how I portrayed either of them. But surprisingly, I got an okay or very tame response from them. Like the time I drew Luz and Amity as 2018 She-Ra and 80s Seahawk, since Dora and Seahawk were an actual couple in the 80s cartoon. I was wondering if I could make people mad or just have a good laugh, and most of them just had a good laugh, thankfully. I only had one negative comment, but that's about it, really. And Randall, he comes in, and this bit here was a bit unique. I had Randall appear with the invisible thing. It was allow me to show you. See, it's a bit like this. He comes up, and it's all like it's kind of like how a chameleon is, and how Randall actually does appear. And Rover's faves that year were Shrek, Sonic Adventures 2, and Invader Zim. And I said something about Invader Zim, but or was it about Shrek? I can't remember, but I said something about the thing. And over here is the guy who went past Rhino. That's Eddie from SSX Tricky. Yeah, he was my most favorite. I often picked him a lot. I'm sure I could have chosen the girls. Like I should have chosen Elise, Marisol, Sia, Kaori, or Zoe. But Eddie was like one of my big picks. One of my cousin's biggest pick is Moby because he's British. And yes, I actually took some audio from the Invader Zim episode where Ger was eating pizza and has Ger eating this type of pizza. It's a type of pizza. It's called cheese burst. It's like a sandwich pizza with the cheese in the middle, and has the Domino's logo, and it has the Domino's rabbit, the Noid. And I mentioned that it's funny how he's able to get into Crash Bandicoot on the Run. And rest in peace, Will Vinton, the guy who created the Noid and was an American claymation master. He's like right next to Nick Park. So yeah, that's my commentary on the 2000s one. I hope you've enjoyed this video.